As of this moment, when we are recording this program, 10 mail bombs have been sent to left-wing activists, to Democrats. We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to look at the hypocrisy. You've got to stay with me for this whole program, please, if you can. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Welcome to the broadcast, friend. So that there is no ambiguity and no one has any question, I utterly condemn these mail bombs being sent. All right? Period. End of discussion. But I'm going to look at this from a very different perspective than you're going to get on most news outlets. And I ask you to stay with me. And I ask your forgiveness ahead of time for me looking down at my notes. I've just sent out a press release. Hopefully it will get some discussion, some airtime. It's unlikely in a lot of the godless fake news outlets that it will, but nevertheless, I have a duty to say the truth, to speak the truth, to not surrender the truth. So let me start with the headline. You ready? These godless baby-killing activists were godless baby-killing activists 2 days ago. And they are still godless baby-killing activists today. And I'm speaking about Robert De Niro, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton. I'm speaking specifically about the people who had these mail bombs sent to them. They are godless enemies of life, human life. They are proponents of child killing. They are godless enemies of justice, the laws of God. They are self-conscious enemies of the law of God. Randall, does that mean you support sending pipe bombs? No, of course not. It means that we must not surrender the truth. Now, before the news of these pipe bombs even made it through cyberspace, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, the two minority Democrat leaders in the House and the Senate, sent out a press release, a blathering press release, condemning President Trump, saying that his condemnation of these pipe bombs didn't go far enough, and that it's his rhetoric that has stoked these flames that has resulted in this. Now, let's just take a quick look at the rhetoric of the Democrats, the utter hypocrisy we're seeing here. Hillary Clinton, I played the clip on this show, recently said that Democrats cannot be civil with Republicans. And I said on the air, this is tacit permission to violence, tacit permission to harassment. She said it. We cannot be civil with those who want to destroy everything we stand for. They stand for child killing. They stand for homosexual marriage. Eric Holder, speaking again of Republicans, said, when they go low, we kick them. That's the new Democratic Party. That's what he said. Eric Holder's words, former Attorney General. Joe Biden said that he wants to take Trump in the back of the gym, to whoop up on him, to fight him. Nancy Pelosi recently said, and we discussed it recently on the show, that people who disagree with her and her agenda would be, quote, collateral damage, close quote. That's from Nancy Pelosi. Maxine Waters has repeatedly called for people to publicly harass Republicans. She said, follow them, get a crowd. When you see one of the people from Trump's administration, follow them and say, you're not welcome here, you're not welcome anywhere. That's the rhetoric that has been coming. That's just a sample. I think De Niro was who talked about punching President Trump in the face. A teacher up in Wisconsin, if my memory is correct, talked about who's going to take one for the team and kill President Trump. That's what we've been dealing with. Now, that, of course, has not made the headlines. The rhetoric that we're talking about here, it hasn't made the headlines, but, President Trump's rhetoric is responsible for these mail bombs. It's ludicrous. But I'm going to go further, friends. Why are Pelosi and Schumer and all of these talking heads, these airheads, why are they behaving this way? Because they are terrified that righteous citizens will overturn Roe versus Wade. that we will stop the slaughter of babies, that we will end homosexual marriage. They're terrified that we will end their reign of terror and shut down the Democrat state-run plantation that they have created in the last generation and a half. And that's our mission. And so what do they want? They want us to surrender our most potent weapon, the truth. They want us to surrender the truth. And we must not, at all costs. What's the truth? The truth is that they're evildoers. The truth is that they're baby killers. The truth is that Zucker and CNN, they are fake news. They are the enemies of life. They are the enemies of justice. They are the enemies of truth. And we need to keep saying it without flinching. We've got 12 days to the midterm election. And the Democrats know that if they can get the right wing to just go, oh, we're sorry. If they can get Christian conservatives to say, oh, we'll stop saying the truth about you, they're going to win. We must not surrender the truth. We must be fearless. We must be accurate. Yes, we can and we should condemn sending pipe bombs, mail bombs, okay? Of course we should. That's not the issue here. They are seizing this horrific moment to try and browbeat us into not saying the truth about them. And that is something we must not do. They are evildoers, they are child killers, and our greatest weapon is not a mail bomb, not a pipe bomb. Our greatest weapon is the truth and mobilizing people to get to the polls to keep Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer from getting more levers of power in their hands. Because if they do, the blood is going to continue to flow. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Warrior Guitars. Without question, the best guitar I've ever played, heard, or seen is a Warrior. The owner of Warrior, Jay Dran, has an incredible testimony of redemption and healing. God gave him the vision to start Warrior Guitars and a passion to make the best guitars in the world. They only make about 120 guitars a year, each one by hand. Maybe one of them could be yours, or a once-in-a-lifetime gift for someone you love.
The one thing that I can tell you is this is the most finely crafted guitar I have ever held. I've played a lot of guitars, I own a lot of guitars, and although the quality is exceptional on all of them, this is by far the most finely crafted instrument I own or have ever played. And I'm glad I own it.
Contact my friends at Warrior Guitar. Tell them Randall Terry sent you. Lock her up. This chant that people say at, I think, every Republican rally around President Trump that I know of in the last 2 years, lock her up, has been chanted over and over. And it happened last night, even after the news about these pipe bombs, these mail bombs had broken. And I'm so glad the people did it. Listen to me. We're speaking about Hillary, lock her up. A civilized society, Hillary said, we can't be civilized. Well, listen, a civilized society has equal justice under the law. 2 days ago, a former FBI official was sentenced to 4 years in prison for leaking classified documents. 4 years, okay? Knowingly released documents for a political agenda, okay? Hillary Clinton had, 30,000 emails that she deleted? A large number of top secret documents that were being bantered around and deliberately shown to people who shouldn't have been seeing them. Hillary was meeting with people as Secretary of State and getting millions and millions of dollars for the Clinton Foundation. Hillary Clinton clearly, plainly broke laws, far more than the person who was just sentenced to 4 years in prison. Okay? Civilized societies have equal justice under the law. What Hillary has experienced is not about equal justice. It's about her status. If she was not the former First Lady, if she was not a former presidential candidate, she would already have been tried. She would already be doing time in prison. She escaped not because of her innocence, but because of her status. And we need to continue saying the truth. We cannot in any way take the blame for some poor misguided soul sending mail bombs. Listen, if you're watching this TV show, don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. It's not going to help us. It's going to play into their hands. Now they get to be the victim. It doesn't help anything. Don't do it. But the truth of the matter is, these are evil people, and they're seizing this to try and browbeat us into surrendering the truth and not saying lock her up, not calling Nancy Pelosi a wretched child killer, or Maxine Waters a wretched child killer. They have blood all over the hands, the blood of innocent babies. They want us to just say, well, maybe they really are the nice people. Maybe they are the people we should follow in politics. No, we can't do it. I'm going to take another break. Please don't go away. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. I hope that you understand that the left, the hypocrites on the left, the child killers on the left, that they have been browbeating us, marginalizing us, mocking us, trying to say that we're the enemy of freedom for decades. Governor Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, this is a godless man. This is an evildoer, okay? Like his father before him. He said not too long ago that pro-lifers, people who believe in the Second Amendment, right, the right to keep and bear arms, that they have no place in New York State. That's what he said. Doesn't want them in the state. You have no place here. Now, these are the words of a demagogue, okay? These are the words of a demagogue. And yet he wants to blame us when some misguided soul sends out a mail bomb. You know, it's interesting now, except for Nancy Pelosi, many of the people who have made these outrageous statements are calling for calm, calling for us to all get along. President Trump is saying it. You know, we got to ratchet things back. As long as ratcheting things back does not mean surrendering the truth, okay? The day that we are asked to not say that so-called homosexual marriage is an abomination is the day we've lost the republic. Now, we've already lost most of the republic, all right? We have. But when they start imprisoning us, when they start demanding our silence regarding the two top sins that cry out to God for judgment, the shedding of innocent blood and so-called homosexual marriage, when that day occurs, then it's over. It's completely over. They're already there in Canada. All right, if a pastor preaches from the pulpit that homosexual marriage is an act of evil against God himself, that it is an abomination, they are committing a criminal act, okay? Repeating the scriptures, the principles of the Holy Bible in Canada is a criminal act. Are you hearing me? This danger that we are in is real. 65 million babies are dead from the American Holocaust, all right? We are experiencing evil on a magnitude that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and James Madison and Patrick Henry could not even have conceived possible. And I'll tell you something, all right? I'm going to say this. I know it's probably going to get me in trouble. But they started a revolution for a lot less. Read the list of complaints against George III that are delineated in the Declaration of Independence. There were some rough times there. They started a shooting war with them because they didn't have the ability to redress grievances through the vote. We have the ability to address the evil that has engulfed our country at the ballot box. Okay? That's why we don't have to have a shooting war. Come around again to what I talked about a couple nights ago. This is about whether or not you're going to vote. Are you hearing me? Christians, half of the Christians in America are not registered to vote. Of those that are registered to vote, only about half of those vote in a presidential election. In an off year such as this, in a non-presidential election, only about 25 of them statistically will show up to vote. Friends, please don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't believe Nancy Pelosi or the talking heads at CNN that we're to blame. You want to honor God? Protect the fatherless, okay? James said that true religion and undefiled before God is to help the fatherless and the widow in their distress. Fatherless means a baby who doesn't have a father's protection, all right? Do justice. Rescue those unjustly sentenced to death. Don't stand back and let them die. That's what Proverbs chapter 24:11 says, okay? How can you do any little thing that might save a baby? You can vote. You can vote for pro-life people on Tuesday, November the 6th. If someone supports the murder of babies, don't vote for them. I don't care what party they're in. Don't vote for baby killers. And if you don't vote, I want to suggest to you, you hearing me? You are sinning against God to not vote. Randall, how could you dare say that? Because the Bible says, for him who knows to do good and doeth it not, for him it is sin. That's what the scripture says. It's called the sin of omission. If you know it's the right thing to do something, to do anything, and you deliberately don't do it, it is a sin. And if you know that God wants to end this Holocaust in America, and that part of the way we must do that is through government, that means we've got to get the right people elected, right? I mean, this is not rocket science. You've got to vote. And if you don't vote, you're sinning against God, against the republic, against the babies who are dying, for you literally to do the right thing with your vote. Randall, you seem upset. I am upset. You should be upset too. Woe to those who do not grieve for the ruin of Joseph. I'll be right back. What Would Mohammed Do? Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, I learned more from What Would Mohammed Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life. Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700 or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. Friend, we have a series that will help you and those you love to have an impact on this country. It's called Insurrecta Nex. That's Latin for revolution against the killing of innocent people. This is the history, the philosophy, and the theology of social revolution in America. We look at the Stamp Act, the Boston Tea Party, the abolition of slavery, the abolition of child labor, women's voting rights, the civil rights movement. All of them have this in common: courage, sacrifice, dedication, and in-your-face tactics and rhetoric. That's one of the reasons that we've been losing the culture wars the last 40 years, is because the bad guys are using these tactics and we aren't. We will send you this 14-part TV series along with these manuals for students, a teacher's facilitator guide for only $40. Go to 304-289-3700, 304-289-3700. Welcome back to the program, friend. If you just joined us, let's recount the fact that as of this filming, there are 10 explosive devices. These seem to be crude. They don't appear to have been able to do a lot of damage. One picture has been seen of them that I know of at this moment, and heaven help the person who did this. They're going to find them. Oh, believe me, they will find them quickly. The forensic evidence and the ability to collect forensic evidence is so sophisticated today. You've got to be really, really good to be able to evade capture for something like this. So they're going to get caught, all right? Then we're going to see their Facebook page. Then we're going to see their emails. Then we're going to know that they're either a right-wing lunatic, a middle-of-the-road lunatic, or a left-wing lunatic. We'll find out. We're going to know. What I'm leaving you with today is don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't surrender the truth. Okay? Don't surrender the truth. This isn't a funeral. Okay? When you're at a funeral, that's the one time, funerals and weddings, when you can and should just hold your tongue. Okay? Don't say something unkind, even if it's true. Don't say something true about the dead. All right? While you're at a funeral, just shut up. Don't say anything. That's why that lunatic who holds up signs, quote, God hates fags, close quote. I mean, what's his name? What looks like the Grim Reaper. Anyway, what he does at funerals, at servicemen's funerals, it's evil. It's not the right time. It's not the right place. Not the right message. And it's dishonoring something that is sacred Christian tradition, okay? The proper burial of the dead is a corporal act of mercy, all right? So those people, we're not talking about a funeral. We're not talking about a wedding. We're talking about politics, campaigns, who's in charge of governance. Right? That's what this is about. It's about public policy, public service. So in that light, don't surrender the truth. Nancy Pelosi is a troubled soul, but she's an evildoer, okay? She has betrayed her Catholic faith. She is embracing the two top sins that cry out to God for judgment: shedding of innocent blood and sodomy, homosexual activity. Those are the two that cry out to God for vengeance. She's supposedly Roman Catholic. She has betrayed her faith. She is an evil person, an evildoer, promoting evil deeds that bring the judgment of God upon a nation. She was that 3 days ago. She was that the moment that this mail bomb showed up in her mailbox, and she is that right now. All right? And so those words of truth about her, about De Niro, about Maxine Waters, about Joe Biden, about Barack Obama, about Hillary Clinton, and everyone else who has or has not gotten one of these mail bombs, the truth must be said. The truth must not be surrendered. And they know that our best weapon is the truth. Truth has within it the seeds of its own victory. Truth has within it the seeds of its own victory. Lies have within them the seeds of their own destruction. But if we don't spread the seeds of the truth and we give the whole field to lies, then it is their lies and their injustice and their oppression that will sprout and will flourish and will dominate the playing field until it chokes us all out. Don't surrender the truth.